We're going to do the microcosmic orbit meditation. It's sometimes called the small heavenly orbit meditation. This is done in a chair or a stool, or maybe on the edge of the bed. You could also do it sitting on a cushion on the floor or the ground if you prefer, but I'll guide it as if you're sitting something like what I'm doing now in a chair with your feet flat on the floor or flat on the ground. And if you can, sit toward the edge of the chair so that your back is not supported by the back of the chair. It can make it a little bit easier sometimes to sit in a stable way for more than a couple minutes. But if you want to lean back in the chair, if that feels more comfortable, you can try that out, of course. So find yourself in a stable seat. And for this practice, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. You always have the option, if you prefer, to keep your eyes open. You can just make it a little bit differently challenging if the eyes are open to visualize or to tap into the movements and the sensations in the body that we're going to be working with. And the microcosmic orbit meditation at one level just involves imagining or moving energy around the body in a particular pattern from the perineum, or what's called the meeting point of yin between the legs, up the surface of the back of the body, either just at the surface or below the surface, or even outside the body, you can imagine. And it rises up along your back, over the top of your head, and down the front line of your face. And then it goes down the front line of the body past the heart, and the solar plexus, and the navel, and down back to the perineum. And it just keeps circling or circulating like that. But to get into that practice today, we're going to play with imagined movements of the breath and just follow along. It doesn't have to be perfect. So the feet are connected to the surface below you. And just begin by noticing the sensations in your feet and in the place where you're sitting, the parts of your body supported most directly by contact with something below. And imagine that there's a thin string or filament pulling gently upward on the crown point of your head, on the point called the Bai Hui, or the 100 meetings point. And that string or filament is just inviting the spine to be a little bit longer, but be real gentle about it, no strain. For this, have your hands palm down, resting on your knees or your thighs. If there's some other way you want to hold your hands, though, that's fine. Your tongue is up touching the roof of your mouth. Doesn't matter how it's touching, just have it up somehow touching the roof of the mouth, as if to close a circuit that comes down the front line of the face and ends at the top in the upper palate, and then begins again at your lower palate. Imagining your tongue is somehow making the connection to let chi or energy or whatever flow down the front line of the face, down the front line of the body. Breathing in and out through your nose, but if it feels better to breathe through the mouth or through some other orifice, just breathe. And eyes are closed, or if they're open, maybe half opened eyelids, the kind of gentle, soft, downward gaze, but inviting the attention into the body. And begin to breathe in what in Indian style yoga or pranayama, sometimes called Dirgha Pranayama, the long 3-part breath. So here, just as you breathe in, imagine that the breath can fill your body from your sits bones, the place where you're sitting, up to about the base of the neck. And as you breathe in, it begins filling the bottom third of that portion of your body, and then the middle third, and then all the way up to the top, up to the base of the neck, to the clavicle. And as you breathe out, imagine the out-breath releases first from the top third, and then the middle third, and then the bottom. So continue like that, breathing in from the bottom to the middle, to the top, releasing from top, and then middle, and then bottom. This is not yet a microcosmic orbit, but we're beginning to find our way in a particular way. So just stay with this a few moments at your own pace of breath, breathing in and imagining your breath can fill the bottom third of the body from your sits bones up to about the navel, and then begins to fill the middle third, filling from the navel up to about the base of the sternum, and then all the way up to the base of the neck. You might even imagine it rising a little bit higher up through the neck. And as you breathe out, release from the top first, and then the middle, and then the bottom, staying with us. You might even imagine that you can follow the leading edge of this rising wave of breath with the eyes as you look down inside the body. Just see it like a wave, breathing in, and the wave rises from the bottom to the middle, and it begins to crest at the top. And as you breathe out, it releases down, and follow the top of the wave as it descends through the top, and then the middle and the bottom. A few more rounds just like this. You might find that the breath begins to slow, and then maybe something else happens, and just stay with it gently. Breathing in bottom, and then middle, and then top, and releasing top, and then middle, and then bottom. And then when you're ready, begin to elongate this, to imagine that as you breathe out, it doesn't just sink down to your sits bones or where you're sitting, but imagine it begins to sink somehow all the way through the space below you, down into the earth. And as you breathe in, imagine the breath somehow begins down in the earth, and it rises up from the earth, up through the space below your sits bones, and then through your body all the way up to the top of your head. And as you breathe out, it releases like this leading edge of the wave down from the head, through the body, through the space below where you're sitting, into the earth, and see it go down into the earth. So stay with that, breathing in and imagining somehow your breath begins down in the earth, and it rises up through you to the top of the head. And then even imagine the breath somehow rises straight up above your head into the space above you. And then as you breathe out, it breathes down gently through the body into the earth, down into the earth, just following it, maybe even following it with the closed eyes. So breathing in from inside the earth, up through the body, up into the sky. And as you breathe out, the breath flows from the sky down through your body, down into the earth. Stay with it, rising and falling like this. However it comes to you visually, just see if you can imagine following the sensations of breath as they begin deep down in the earth, rising up like a wave through your body, following with the eyes, and just watching it as it goes up above the head, reaching up as far as it can up into the sky. And as you breathe out, it releases down, just a downward gentle flow from the sky, down through the body, through your feet, down deep into the earth, just straight up and down. So follow that like a wave, breathing in from the earth, through your body, up to the sky, and breathing out from the sky, down through the body into the earth. however the visualization and the sensations comes to you. Maybe you see it really clearly, this rising from the sky, from the earth up to the sky and then back down to the earth. Maybe you feel it somehow. Maybe it's more like just abstract intention or thought. Either way is fine. So breathing in, imagining movement from the earth through your body, through the top of the head, up into outer space beyond the atmosphere. And then breathing out, coming down through the sky, through your body. And imagine it goes all the way down to the center of the earth. As you keep doing this, begin to bring your attention to the turning points at the top and at the bottom. When you next reach the bottom, imagine the turning. It begins to turn and move like an inch back toward your spine before it comes up. So as you breathe in, it's rising up from the earth through the body, but more toward the back side of the body as it goes through the body up into the sky. And at the top, imagine it turns, just arcing a little bit forward before going down. And as you breathe out, just see it moving from the sky down through the body, but a little bit more toward the front of the surface of your body, down through your feet into the earth. Stay with that. Breathing in, it arcs up now along the surface of the back of the body, all the way straight up beyond into the sky. And as you breathe out, it arcs down and it flows gently down the surface of the forehead, through the nose and the chin, and down past the heart and navel, and then on down through the ground into the earth. Breathing in and feel and imagine feeling the flow up along the surface of the back of the body and see it continue all the way up into the sky. And it turns the transition between the breath. And as you breathe out, just imagine that flow of the point at the edge of the wave down the front line, along the front line of the surface of the body, down into the earth. Tongue up to the roof of the mouth, breathing in from the earth, up the back line into the sky. Breathing out from the sky, down your front line, all the way into the earth. Make the space between the going up and the going down a little bit bigger now. So as you breathe in, imagine it's going from the earth and it's flowing behind you, just outside the back of your body, arcing up over the top, all the way up into the sky, following with the eyes. As you breathe out at your own pace, imagine it rolling or flowing down the front, and it flows down just outside the front of your body. Begin to widen and even more in breath. It rises up a few feet behind you, but imagine you can feel it as it flows up behind you into the sky. And breathing out, see it flowing down in front of you, a few feet out in front, following it with the closed eyes. Be feeling it as it flows by, or imagine you can feel it as it goes down into the earth. Just stay with it. Breathing in, and the arc behind you begins to extend further out, maybe 100 feet back behind you, but you follow it up. And as you breathe out, it arcs down the front, 100 feet out in front, but you can feel it or sense it as it goes down into the earth. And begin to expand it even further, just breathing in, and there's this arc flowing up in a curve way, way back behind you, over the top into the sky. And it begins to move forward and arc down, way out toward the horizon in front of you as it comes down. Then begin to expand it even further so that the flowing up is like a giant arcing circle behind you, going way up, out into space. And then as you breathe out, just imagine it arcing down way out in space, out in front of you. And it even goes down out below the other side of the earth. So you're just beginning to imagine a big circling wave that expands outward into a circle way back behind you, following with the eyes over the top of the head. Breathe out, follow the leading edge of this wave as it circles down way in front, like you and the earth below you become like a point at the center. You're just following this big, amazingly large circle of light, or this wave of something as it just arcs around in a circle that maybe reaches out to the edge of the universe, or whatever it is that's like that at the edge of your imagination. Breathing in, and this giant arcing circle, this point of light arcs up from the bottom behind you all the way up to the top. And as you breathe out, it rolls or flows down way out in front. You and the earth like a point, the very center of this immense circle of flowing energy or light. Keeping it in phase with your breath, whatever the pace of your breath is. Following with the eyes. Imagine a circle out to the edge of the universe around you. Flowing point or ball of light, breathing in, and it rolls from beneath you all the way up behind you, way up over the top of your head. Breathing out, it rolls, arcing out in front in a big semicircle down to the point way below. Stay with this image of this moving circle with the breath, but begin to pull it back in, not quite so big of a circle. Each time it begins now to not just circle, but begin to kind of spiral back in, breathing in as it rolls up behind you, breathing out as it rolls down below. Begin to make the arc of the circle go now just from the center of the earth at the bottom, up behind you, just up to the edge of the sky. And then circle it closer in and closer in. Until the circle is just a few feet around you in every dimension, still breathing in from the bottom, around behind you, up over the top of the head. Breathing out down the front, down below you. And then bring the circle in a little bit closer. So that now this perfect circle of flowing light or energy or whatever it is, the bottom part of the circle is in line with the bottom of your feet. And the top of the circle, the point of light, just grazes very gently over the top of your head. And bringing a little bit closer so that now the bottom of the circle is in line with your perineum, or the meeting point of yin. And the top of the circle, as it arcs up behind, is coming up to the crown point of the head. Still following it with the eyes in phase with the breath. And then you begin to bring it in like an oval, so it begins to come in closer to the surface of the body. So now you're following the point of light from the perineum, and it doesn't arc out behind you, but it just rolls up past the tailbone and the sacrum, up over along the back of the body, over the top of your head. And breathing out, it rolls down the surface of the body, past the heart and the navel, below the perineum. Breathing in this ball of light, the waves leading edge rolls up the back surface of the body. Breathing out, it rolls down the front line, past the heart and your abdomen, down to the perineum. And however it comes to you, it's okay however it is. Maybe you feel it rolling or rising up the back, and you feel it rolling or flowing down the front. Maybe you more see it with mental, visual imagery. Or maybe it's just the most abstract of intentions. Breathing in up the back, breathing out down the front. A few more rounds. If you're ready, if you're breathing out this ball of light down the front, when it reaches your navel, imagine the ball just rolls inside the space of your abdomen. So letting go of the flowing around the body and just bring that ball of light. Imagine it's resting in the space between your navel and the point on your spine, directly opposite the navel. And as you look down inside your body, just imagine you can see this ball of light. Notice if it has a color. Notice how big it wants to be, whether it's like the size of a pearl, or whether it's more like a basketball, or something in between, or something other entirely. Breathing in, and the ball gently expands a little bit in every direction. And breathing out, the ball releases back to its original size. Right. You can either just let that image of the ball be, or you can invite it just to fade and dissipate. If the eyes are closed, you can open the eyes. Bring some movement back to the body by rocking forward and back, or stretching out in whatever way you like. Maybe just to close this today, just take your hands and place them on the navel. The elbow point at the center of each palm is lined up one over the other. Just take a moment, and you can have the eyes either opened or closed. Just notice any experience that feels like it's arising inside your body right now. Notice anything that feels like it's arising at the surface of the body. Notice anything that feels like it's coming from outside. And then when you're ready, you can open the eyes if you've closed them again, and look around you. Go about your day like nothing happened. Thanks.